Good afternoon. Welcome to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. My name is Leon Jones. Today is Sunday, November 13th, 2016. You can tune into the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show every Wednesday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Blog Talk Radio. Guest call-in number is 215-383-5785. If you like the information that I am presenting to you as an audience, please subscribe to the channel so I can continue to give you this quality information for educational purposes. Also on this channel, I don't engage in any controversial issues or debates because I am trying to educate each and every one of you on the topics that you don't hear in the mainstream media. If you have a business or a topic that you'd like for me to discuss on Blog Talk Radio and YouTube, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. Please feel free to comment. Leave in the comment section. Make sure your comments are pithy. No bloviating or pettifogging if you wish to opine. Topic number 2 today. Just got informed that President Obama has just signed an executive order to investigate the election. If you do a lot of research, I believe that this protest is being orchestrated by the left-wingers such as George Soros. Now, President Obama has jumped into the mix. And you can see it right now. The left does not accept the results of the election. Hillary conceded. It was won fair and square by the Republican Party. And now you have the president. And what's going to happen? It's going to have a domino effect. And this is what the Democrats do. They want to change the system because what happened? America said no to left-wing policies. And left-wing policies haven't done anything to this country but destroy it. We've become a third world country. Jobs, they're shipped overseas, and that was from another left-wing zealot named President Clinton. Healthcare is a debacle. Wages haven't come up. Yet there have been jobs, but they've been service jobs. College tuition is run amok. Taxes have been increased. And on and on and on and on and on. And let me tell you something. Not saying that the Republican Party never had any races in it, but the Democratic Party, in my humble opinion, is the racist party. They're the party of the Klan. They're the party of the most corruption. They're the party who really wants to transform this world into something different. And one thing I hope President-elect Trump does do, get rid of executive orders. Let everything go through the Congress and the Senate so we would have equal branches of the government. Power should be distributed equally. President Obama has run this country like he's a dictator through executive orders, bypassing Congress. That makes no sense. When he ushered in his health care bill, the Democrats were the only ones who voted. The Republicans didn't have a chance to vote on it. Now, what he just did is going to orchestrate more irrational protests. And it's going to get worse. Democrats cannot accept the fact that they lost. And I hope everybody understands what's going on. I mean, you had Hillary, who basically called your stereotypical white males in the Midwest and the South deplorables because they're voting for Trump. Back in 1994, she called blacks and Hispanics when she was referring to gangsters, because in the urban area, there's a lot of blacks and Hispanics in gangs as predators. Margaret Sanger, who's a left-winger, she thinks that black people are a problem. all these left-wingers that I'm naming, George Soros, Hillary Clinton, President Obama, Bill Ayers, you have Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, they've all benefited off of left-wing politics. I heard Al Sharpton the other day. He feels the election was unfair. That's because Al Sharpton tried to run for president, and he was a joke. He couldn't win. But when the leader of the so-called free world signs an executive order to investigate the election, you have the media behind this because they're corrupt. And then you're going to have other left-wingers behind it. Michael Moore. You have Hollywood. You even had Dwayne, I think his name is Dwayne Wade, one of the basketball players. He refuses to go to the White House because Trump got elected. This shenanigans is going to keep going on, and all you're doing is going to fuel the fire, and I mentioned it in 2 other videos over the weekend. You're going to fuel the fire for President-elect Trump to come out with his law and order plan. And again, that law and order plan is going to take away more freedoms because security is going to be tight. Look, I don't care if you didn't like Donald Trump. And this is not about Donald Trump. This is about the Democrats want to cheat to win an election. Because if it had gone the other way, just like it did for the past 2 elections, nothing heard, nothing said. We deal with it, and we wait till our time comes up, then we utilize the ballot box. See, the Democrats, they can't win in the ballot box. They have to utilize scare tactics, and they have to utilize the courts to get their points across. Because in actuality, nobody in their right mind wants left-wing politics. It is bad for this country. We're not Sweden. We're not Hungary. We're not Canada. We're not England. We are the United States of America. And if we keep going in the direction with individuals trying to disrupt the voting process, we're going to have a civil war. I mean, we're already having a divided war between young versus old, men against women, blacks against whites, uneducated versus educated, corporate versus blue collar. We are very much divided. And your president. And what's going to happen is the legacy that President Obama had is now going to be tarnished. And I hope everybody sees this. And please, all my fellow YouTubers, I'm reporting it. I want you to report it as well. Because YouTube does give us a voice, particularly as black men. I mean, this is insane. I've never heard of this malarkey in my life. If you wanted Hillary to win, here's what should have happened. More black people and Hispanic people should have voted. Here's what happened, and here's the numbers. And this is why she lost. 65% of the Hispanic people went for Clinton. 6 went undecided. Undecided. And what I mean by undecided, went to the Green candidate or the Libertarian candidate. For black people, 88% went to Hillary Clinton. 4% went to the undecided or the Green candidate. That means 8% went for Donald Trump. Now, had more African Americans and Hispanics gotten out the vote, the numbers would have changed. And what has occurred here is what happened in 2000. Hillary has more of the popular vote. Donald Trump has more of the electoral college vote. In every election, we utilize the Electoral College to elect a president. And this is what happened. This isn't Florida. Came down to one state. Donald Trump had 274 Electoral College votes when he won Pennsylvania after he had 254. Hillary conceded at around 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in the morning. But when you have a leader, he should be setting the example. He also said, and I'm talking about Obama, this is going to be a smooth transition. This isn't a smooth transition. He should get out there and tell the protesters to knock it off. The process went forward. The election's over. Get ready for the next 4 years. What's going to happen is people see it, and 4 years is not that far away. The Democrats are going to price themselves out of power. Because if Donald Trump meets his mandate, first 100 days, he may get elected again in 2020. That's if he decides to run. The bottom line, and I'm going to tell you again, this is a referendum against left-wing politics. Because Donald Trump is not a true conservative, because he has some liberal views. He does believe in gay marriage. That's a liberal view. And Donald Trump was also a Democrat because he supported Hillary Clinton in 2008. He donated to her campaign. I want to tell each and every one of you, if you want to get into politics, you got to understand it first. You got to have the money. I mean, both candidates are flawed. But Barack Obama, he's trying to get his last stay because he's about to vacate 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Wants to flex his muscles. And with an executive order, he can do that. But why do you need to look into an election? Everything's going to be determined when the electors vote for the president on December 19th. And if you try to taint with the system, there's going to be an uprising. And I can tell you, the people are the ones who elect the government. The government does not pick who should be the president. Unless there's a tie in the Electoral College at 269, that's when the power in the Congress or the majority, and that's based if it's Democratic or Republican, because had it been tied, Donald Trump still would have been president because the Republicans have the House. And right now they have all three, the trifecta, the House, the Senate, and they have the White House. President Obama needs to be the leader and stop the protest. He can do it. Because I can see right now, this is going to be some martial law if it's getting out of hand. And you have a bunch of whiny college students, and particularly these are white college students, most of them. They're out there destroying people's property because they didn't get their way. I'm sorry, you all, the entitlement culture is over for you. Get out there and earn your way. Get out of your mother and dad's house. And that's who's out there destroying everything. Too many children are lazy. Now, is it children's fault? No, you have a lot of lazy parents. And that's a big problem in this country. But I digress. President Obama is still trying to maintain a piece of his legacy. Because in January, his legacy will be gone. But an executive order to try to look into this election is deplorable. It makes no sense. And to be the leader of the free world all you're doing is playing right into the hands of the Americans who know who you were from the get-go. See, I know who Obama was when he got up and spoke at the Democratic National Convention when John Kerry was running against George Bush in 2004. Yeah, he's an intelligent speaker. Same with Van Jones. Van Jones is a devout communist. That's right, he is a devout communist. He mentioned it. He's going to jail. Yes, he went to college. Some of these individuals are very, very good speakers. Reverend Wright, good speaker. Van Jones, Obama. But it's not the speaking ability. It's where your mind is. And with this, Obama's really trying to destroy the country. And we're going to go on and on and on. And it's going to be a lot of civil unrest. And that's because the left wing in this country knows that its policies over the last 50 years have basically failed this country. So what they want to utilize executive orders, courts, even the media is in on it. George Soros is in on it. The Bill Maher's. The Progressive Talk Radio. The professors. The teachers. Again, if you look at how many students walked out of class, got up and walked out of class during a school day when they should be learning something, and the teachers let that go. And if you look at left-wing politics in this country, it's no discipline, no rules. Everybody gets a trophy, even if you come in last place so you can feel good. No incentive to do better. This is what we voted for on November 8th. And now we have a bunch of crying babies out here. And it is scum. That's what they are. They're nothing but scum. Worthless. And my thing is, why don't we all chip in, give them a passport, send them to Cuba, send them to those communist countries, since they love communism and socialism so much. See how it really is to live under that system. See, one thing about the left, they talk about the 1% in this country, but they've benefited. If you go to every public school, some government jobs, it's nothing but left-wingers there. They don't want to work, but they want to live off of everybody else. But some of them are in the 1%. Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, utilizing racism, race baiting to make their money. And these are clowns. But they still want to become relevant by getting a camera shined in their face, doing radio shows. And these individuals on the left just do nothing but incite violence. They try to use scare tactics. And once you don't have control over protests, then this is what you get. And with Obama signing an executive order to look into this election, he's going to make things worse. Because now you've added more fuel to the fire to where some of the electors might be forced to go back and count the votes, which is against the Constitution. The election ended, the votes were counted, and that's the way it is. Accept defeat and learn from it and have a better strategic campaign next time. And their candidate lost, Hillary Clinton, because they didn't trust her. This is why African Americans didn't go out and vote. Some Hispanics, they didn't go out to vote because they know who she is. They don't trust the candidate, they stayed home. Or they voted for the other candidates. That's what happens. But again, this vote was a referendum on liberalism. Just like Michael Savage says on his radio show, liberalism is a mental disorder, and you are seeing it right now. You look at how the Democratic Party in this country, who is race-baited, use sexism toward the right. But again, they're the party of the Klan. They're the party of feminism. They're the party of homosexual rights. But they're the party of the racists. They're the party of Jim Crow. But what they try to do is deflect by getting the people to believe that the Republican Party is the party of the racists. Back in the Eisenhower administration, they could have passed the civil rights law. You know who said no? The president, well, he was a congressperson. He was a congressperson. And then they passed it in 1964. And it was the Republicans who helped pass the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Affirmative action was passed by the Republican Party. The Democrats did nothing. Lyndon B. Johnson was the congressman's name in 1957. He was against the civil rights law. But when he got in power, 1964, the Republicans, and you talk about people like Barry Goldwater, they passed the civil rights law. And you know the Democrats were the party of George Wallace? That's right. Talk about David Duke, but George Wallace was definitely corrupt. They were the party of the white supremacists who were on the police force, the police chiefs, the colleges. That's where your white supremacists were. They were all Democrats. Called them Dixiecrats. The party of J. William Fulbright, Ernest Hollings, Robert Byrd, you name it. And these are the individuals, Bill Ayers, the media, Van Jones. These are the individuals Obama got his radicalism from. And if you look at what's going on, it's showing. It's funny how he and Donald Trump had a civil discussion in the White House. Now I'm beginning to think that that was staged. You don't tell somebody you want a smooth transition. Now you want to take the stroke of a pen and sign an executive order because the Democrats lost the election and their policies are going to be tossed out for new ones. You see, with all these liberal politics, we went back even from a AAA credit rating to an A credit rating. And that's this country. So again, answer this question. What kind of country do you want? Do you want a country that's run by left-wing radicals so we can continue to go down and be a third world country? Or do you want a country that's going to be able to be economically sustainable and we can create more jobs? That's the answer you have to figure out. I want a country where I can live a decent life and my government should be there to protect my rights, not to fuel the fire like President Obama's doing. And he's supposed to be the leader of the free world. And it just got worse because he wants to sign an executive order to give the Democrats their way. Now, this is a mechanism, feel-good mechanism, it could be, but more political correctness. And that's another thing. Political correctness went out the door with this election. But again, what kind of country do you want? You want socialism, communism, or do you want tyranny? Or do you want a democratic republic? I know country I want. But at the end of the day, the election is still going to be the same. And that's this edition for the 401 Talk Zone radio show. My name is Leon Jones. Till next time, you have a wonderful and blessed day. And please be gentle and respectful to each other.